Okay, let's dive into this. Today we're uncovering a danger that's often completely invisible but has absolutely devastating consequences. It's a risk hiding in plain sight at countless job sites, and it comes from something that sounds so harmless, just dust.
Really think about that for a second. We usually think of workplace safety as, avoiding falls or accidents. But for millions of people in the industries that literally build our world, the biggest threat is one they can't even see. It's in the air they breathe, hour after hour, day after day.
So, we're going to explore a specific group of illnesses that draw a direct line between someone's job and their long-term health. And just to be clear, this isn't about general air pollution. We're talking about very specific hazards tied to very specific professions.
The way it happens is actually pretty simple, which is kind of what makes it so scary. It all starts in a workplace where there's just a constant presence of harmful mineral dust. A worker breathes this stuff in, and the particles are so incredibly fine they just sneak past the body's natural defenses and get lodged deep inside the lungs. Over years and years, the body tries to fight off these tiny invaders, which causes inflammation and eventually permanent scarring. And that scarring, well, that's what becomes a life-altering lung disease.
So this isn't just some random health problem. This whole process has a specific medical term that covers all of these related conditions. It's time to put an official name to it.
The term is pneumoconiosis. And the one thing you really need to remember about this word is that its definition is tied to its origin, the inhalation of dust at a workplace. It's not a general lung condition. The job itself is the direct cause, period.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Pneumoconiosis is a bit of a mouthful, right? It sounds super clinical. So it's no surprise that there are much simpler, more direct names for these conditions that you've probably heard before.
Yeah, names like dust diseases or occupational lung diseases just get straight to the point. They're powerful because they tell you either the cause, the dust, or the context, the job. Simple as that.
All right, so now that we've got the general idea down, let's dive into three of the most significant and, frankly, most notorious types of these diseases. This is where the abstract idea becomes a very real, very serious problem for millions of people.
First up, asbestosis. This is probably the one you've heard of. It's caused by breathing in asbestos fibers. You know, that material that was once hailed as a miracle for being fire-resistant, so it was used in basically everything, from construction to shipbuilding. The real tragedy with asbestosis is how long it takes to show up. A person can be diagnosed decades after they were exposed, long after they've retired from that job.
Next, there's silicosis. This one comes from breathing in tiny particles of crystalline silica, which is just a basic part of sand, rock, and quartz. So you can imagine, this is a huge danger for anyone working in mining, quarrying, and construction. And what's wild is that this isn't some historical disease. It's actually seeing a tragic comeback right now with workers who put those popular engineered stone countertops. It just goes to show this is very much a current problem. And finally, we have coal workers' pneumoconiosis, which is known by a much more common and grim name, black lung disease. For generations of miners, breathing in coal dust was just considered part of the job. Over time, that dust builds up in the lungs, leading to inflammation and scarring that just can't be reversed, making it harder and harder to simply breathe.
So, why are we talking about this now? Why does this still matter so much? Because even with all our modern regulations, these diseases shine a huge spotlight on the fundamental link between a person's job and their well-being. This is not a problem of the past. It's an ongoing battle, and it's made even tougher by the fact that decades can pass between breathing in the dust and actually getting sick.
You know, this quote from our source material really just says it all. These aren't random illnesses that just happen. They are a direct and often preventable result of the environments where people show up to work every single day.
And all of this leaves us with a really critical question. Once we know this direct link exists, that these incurable diseases come from the workplace, what do? How do we better protect the health of people in the essential jobs that we all, every single one of us, depend on? It's a question that really affects everybody,